Hello, tada! So, welcome back to Vines and Branches. So, while you're watching this beautiful video, do follow my page and subscribe my channel on YouTube. So, today I have one of my best friend tell her story. So, she's a retired teacher in Connecticut and she loves music. She's a very huge fan of Taylor Swift, just like me. So, let's see what her music story is. And also, she's a part of two famous music groups, one being a community non-profit music group, and the second one is just for ladies called the Yuka Ladies. So let's see what she has to tell. హలో అందరికీ వెల్కమ్ బ్యాక్ మళ్ళీ టు వైన్స్ అండ్ బ్రాంచెస్. ఈ రోజు మనం ఒక స్పెషల్ పర్సన్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేయబోతున్నాము. సో నాకు నేను ఇండియా నుంచి యుఎస్కి వచ్చాక నాకు పరిచయమైన ఫస్ట్ ఫ్రెండ్ ఈవిడ. సో ఈవిడ చాలా స్ట్రాంగెస్ట్ పర్సన్ నేను చూసిన అందరిలోని. అండ్ నాకు చాలా మంచి ఫ్రెండ్. అండ్ ఆవిడ దగ్గర చాలా ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ ఏజ్లో కూడా ఆవిడ చాలా ఎనర్జెటిక్గా ఉంటుంది. అండ్ చాలా పనులు చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ మ్యూజిక్ అంటే ఆవిడకి చాలా ప్రాణం. సో ఇవాళ ఆమెని ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేద్దాము. అండ్ ఆవిడ నుంచి మనం చూద్దాము మనం ఏం నేర్చుకోగలం అన్నది. సో హియర్ ఇస్ బెట్సీ. And hello,
Hello.
Betsy. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So, yeah, can you please tell me about yourself a little?
Well, I live in Connecticut. I came here with a partner, and we were running a farm, his farm,
Oh.
and the that didn't go so well after some years, and I became a single parent, and I worked in schools. I was a teacher and a tutor, and about 10 years ago. I took up the guitar again, and I had learned how to play decades ago, but not very well. So I got very serious about it due to an illness. I was at home a lot. I had cancer. I'm surviving 11 years now, and with organic food, good diet, and exercise. Anyway, I took up the guitar because I was at home a lot recuperating from my treatments. And I really got into it. I started to play with some different groups of people and friends. And I went to some open mics and learned how to perform. And now I'm a songwriter. And I took out of the closet some old songs that I had written in the 80s and 90s. And now I am revamping them for today's audience.
Mhm.
And I'm recording, and I've written some newer and one brand new song. And it's not copyrighted yet, but it will be. So that's a little bit about me, but I'm 72 years old, so there's a lot more.
That's great. I can see you have seen a lot in your life so far. So, you just told us that you had cancer, right? So, how was your journey when you had cancer? How hard was it for you to deal with it?
Well, the hardest part was when I was sick, and I was being diagnosed because I didn't know why I was sick. The doctor didn't know why I was sick. So I was going through tests, and all of a sudden I got a message from my private health insurer. At the time, this was before the Affordable Care Act, aka the ACA, also known as Obamacare. It's all the same. And the health insurance company, which was a Blue Cross Blue Shield company, said in an email, in 10 days, we're cutting you off. We're cutting you off of your insurance. I had a contract, but they're cutting me off in 10 days when I was being diagnosed. And about 2 days after that, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, which is the most advanced cancer. So I was facing no insurance, no health insurance, because this company cut me off. And I enlisted the help of my representative in Congress, Chris Van Hollen. Thank you, Chris, if you ever see this. He's now a senator, and his office helped me extend the private insurance, and then the Affordable Care Act was implemented, and then I was insured by the ACA. So that's what happened. I have very good doctors, and it all the treatments went well. I have some lingering effects from the chemo that I did, but besides that, it all went well. I'm
That's
still
great.
here.
Yeah, that's great. It's truly a miracle that you're like this today, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I thought I was a goner when you're told stage 4 cancer, and
Yeah.
I was a teacher. I helped students with research papers. I'm good at that. I was doing a lot of research
Hmm.
into my type of cancer, which was colon cancer, and at the time, which was 2014, it didn't look good for stage 4 colon cancer patients.
Hmm.
Not that many people, the percentages of people who survived were very low.
Hmm.
So I was scared. And I want to thank uh, the people in Congress and President Obama who made the Affordable Care Act possible. And those were mostly the Democrats. The Republicans were fighting it all along the way. Thank you, President Obama and Democrats.
Okay, so once again, thank you for sharing this important aspect in your life. Okay, I
Yes.
mean, this actually means a lot that you shared it in front of the camera. So I want to ask you a lot of questions on your music coming to next. But before we
Okay.
get into that, there's one last question I want to ask you, something personal.
Okay.
That is, you said you did a single parenting, right?
Hmm.
So it's actually very tough to do a single parenting in a man's world. We know that. So how hard was it for you?
Well, it was extremely hard. I mean, I think when people say single parent, there's a wide variety. Some people get a lot of help, financial and hands on help from their spouses or their ex spouses. I did not. So I was doing everything for my child and with my child, and financially bringing the money in. And that's one reason why I had to drop music for a long time, because I was working full time, uh, and I was helping my child growing up, and activities, going to the activities that I could possibly make it
Hmm.
to. And I had a very busy job as a teacher and tutor. And so it was rough. It was not good. I would
Hmm.
suggest, I had an opportunity to go live in the city where my family was. And when looking back on it, I'm thinking that's what I should have done, to enlist the family support.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was living in a small town in Connecticut, and I was enjoying what the town had to offer. It's quieter than where my family lived in a big city. And also, it was less expensive to get a rental in my part of Connecticut than in my family was in Washington, D.C., very expensive city. So I decided to stay in Connecticut.
That shows how brave you are and how strong you are. That's nice. So let's get into your music now. I know you
Okay.
play a lot of songs and you write your own songs, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, how did it help you cope up with your stress? Because you've seen a lot happening in your life and you must have had a lot of stress to deal with. So, did music help you?
Music absolutely helped me, even though I was single parenting. And for a time, I was
Mhm.
on a farm doing farm work. And then I was a full time teacher. Even though all those things were hard, the music helped pull me through, because I could release my thoughts and my angst about whatever was happening. I wrote a song called Married Woman Blues,
Mhm.
which will be streaming, I hope, soon. I'm starting to stream
That's great.
some of the songs that I wrote in the 80s and 90s,
Amazing.
and eventually stream some of my newer songs. but I did uh, record these older songs that I had written. I recorded those in the 90s, and now I'm revamping them. I'm modernizing them. I'm redoing some of the vocals. Some of the old songs I'm just streaming as they are. And I've got one song right now on Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music under the name Betsy Glassman.
I heard that. It's really good. I heard that.
And that song was a happy song that I wrote when I had, it was around the time that I had moved to Connecticut, and I had this new partner who had the farm. And it was a happy song, but the third verse is about the development that was happening around us, around our farm. There were just a lot of houses being built and shopping centers nearby and so on. So there is a verse about that. Otherwise, it's a happy song.
That's nice. You've been writing a lot of songs, right? So where did it all begin from? Like the inspiration, like one should have an inspiration to begin all of these. So for example, I love traveling. So my parents love traveling, so I love traveling. So something like that. What inspiration did you carry to get into songs?
Well, um, I learned how to play the flute not very well. And this is the flute I play now. It's an
Oh.
it's an alto flute. So it's very long and large. It's got a crooked head joint because otherwise, you would be playing like this. It would be rather difficult. So I was playing flute and I was singing to a song, and I'm playing flute and I'm singing and playing flute and singing. And a friend of mine in college said to me, "You ought to learn how to play guitar because that's not working, to play the flute and sing. No, you can't do both at the same time." So I actually uh, bought a guitar, and I'll show you the guitar that I bought. It's this guitar. It's a Guild from the 1960s. And it's quite valuable nowadays, but I didn't know what I was buying at the time. But I actually did buy a good guitar. And
That's cute.
and then I bought some songbooks. This is way before the internet. This is the 1970s. I bought some songbooks because the famous musicians like the Beatles and uh, Carole King and James Taylor and Joni Mitchell, they were all putting out songbooks that had chord charts. So I would follow the chord charts and learn some chords. And but then I did some traveling, and then I got into the farm thing, and then the music went by the wayside for a while.
Okay, so coming to the favorite songs, like we know that we both love Taylor Swift a lot.
Big Swifty here.
Yeah, huge fans of her. So for me, my favorite song is "Comin' with the Rain." So I'm not gonna ask what your favorite song of Taylor Swift is, but what is one of your favorite song which you have penned down?
One of my own songs.
Yeah, your song.
Well, I think I like the songs that I've written lately. So I was speaking with my studio engineer. His name is Anthony, and he said, "Well, what do you envision for a concept?" And I really hadn't thought of a concept, and so I said, "Well, we're taking these songs that I recorded in the 90s that I wrote in the 80s, and then I recorded in the 90s." And I said, "And then I have newer songs that I've starting to record." And I said, "So it's sort of a then and now." And he said, "Well, that's a good idea." And I said, "Like it's never too late." And then I said, "Till you die."
Yeah.
I went home, and in a couple of hours, I wrote a song. It's called never too late.
Never too late.
Never too late. Just try, and then it's going to have a cross through just try and underneath till you die.
That's
Because
nice.
that is the final time, and that it is too late. You're dying, and that is why I am doing this at my age. I'm getting into the music business, which I never thought I would do. I just wanted to get my songs sort of out of the closet and have fun with it. Meet people, play with other musicians, and but recording is very expensive. So I thought, well, it is never too late till you die, and and so I'm working on it, and I guess it's sort of a second career. Right now I'm not making any money off of it. I'm just spending money.
It's just your passion, right?
It's my passion. I'm spending money on the recording, but this idea of it's never too late, really, I did not want to be, I'm 72 now. I didn't want to be 80, 85 years old, unable to sing or play well anymore, let's say, and look back and say, Betsy, you wrote some good songs, but you didn't do anything with them. And you may have made a little money. You may have sold a jingle. You may have had a hit song, who knows? But you didn't even try. So that's why I say it's never too late. Just try. Don't you cry, cry, cry is another line.
Perfect.
And it's never too late till you die. So that's my new song I hope to record if I can afford it.
You will, definitely. All the best for you for that song. And so I like that song wording, like never too late till I die, right?
Yes.
So in your life, do you have any regrets? Like, were you too late in doing anything in your life? Like today, when you see yourself here, are you like, okay, I did not do that. I did not do this. Maybe I should have been early in doing that. Any regrets you carry today?
There are a lot of regrets. I think that people have to be very careful about who they marry, who they have children with. At my age, I say there are a lot of hormones running around at your age. There are a lot of hormones, whereas you get to my age, the hormones are gone. And but that's why when you're your age, you need to be very circumspect and careful about your partner, about having children, about your career. But I'd say my regret right now, getting into the music business rather late. But like I said, I'm just getting older, so it's now or never.
That's great. So, do you want to give any one advice to your younger self? Again, coming back to the same question, but do you want to give any different advice to your younger self, looking back at yourself when you were 18 or 20?
I would say just because he looks good, that doesn't mean
Perfect.
he is good.
I love this. I love this part.
There's a lot more than good looks, and there's a lot more to a partner than even then. Oh, good looks, and he plays music. That's good, but there are other more important things in a partner. And so if I were to talk to my younger self, I would say just focus on the more important things. But the other thing is that my parents got divorced around the time I started dating. And they were very much in turmoil themselves. So they were not guiding me very well. They sort of let me go at age 16. It's like, you're in a good school. Here's a hand-me-down car. And, we're all living our own lives. that's not very good for a teenager. You know, you really need to uh, guide your teenager into everything, career, dating, and so on.
One should be career focused rather than focusing on this,
Right.
right?
All of that's very important. So I made a lot of mistakes that I'm trying to recover from at my advanced stage. And I've recovered from, I would say, you know, most of it. And I'm working on the music right now.
Good. So, well, that tells again how strong you are and brave you are, because you are one of the strongest person I look up to. Like, okay, consider me as your inspiration. I mean, you are my inspiration. So, okay, I do see a lot of paintings here. So, I just wanted to ask you about them because the entire house is with full of paintings. So, I just wanted to ask you what these paintings are
Well,
about.
my
And
mother, she's passed on now, but she was an artist. So she did all the paintings you see, and all of them around the house. And from her, I developed a love of photography. So the photographs that are around the house are mine, and the paintings are hers.
good. I
So
like all the paintings.
that's where I got the art. Um, you know, the music too. We always had music going. We had a good stereo system, and my parents were into Barbara Streisand and Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole, and then my eldest brother started to bring home some albums that were folk music, like the Kingston Trio. I love the harmonies there, and then he brought home Meet the Beatles, the Beatles' first album. Well, I fell in love with the Beatles. I was 11 years old and I just became a huge fan of the Beatles, and they're a big influence on my music.
Okay. So I know your son stays far away from you, right? And I know for a matter of fact that you keep missing him sometimes. And do you believe that music has been your companion when you're all alone?
Yes, it often is.
I
And
mean, that kind of distracts you away from the things you miss.
yes, absolutely. I miss my son who's on the West Coast.
Mhm.
And, but picking up the guitar and just playing when I'm home alone is fantastic. I've also made some friends uh, in music, my music friends. I play with two, sometimes three different groups of friends regularly every week. There are two groups that I play with: the ukuleles and a group of people that I met at a nonprofit community music organization called the Music Lab. I play with them regularly. And so, yeah, that's
That's true. Yeah, I
that all
understand.
of that keeps me busy, keeps me social. Um, and yes, the music is very good. And talking about Taylor, I love some of her early music. So I went back and I started playing some of her early music, and I love it. But a lot of her songs are about breakups and they're kind of sad.
I love them too.
I'm trying to play upbeat songs. We're in a very difficult time in the world and in the United States. We're in a very difficult period of time. And so I think playing sad songs and bummer songs, um, I try to stay away from it. I found that some of her early work is sort of sad, or else it's a little too young for me. So one of the songs I love of hers that I'm playing now is called Sweet
So,
Nothing.
Betsy,
Yes.
I want you to sing one favorite song of yours, a few lines for our audience.
Okay, well, this song is written during that farm period when I first came to Connecticut. It's about my farm life, living with a partner, scrapping it out on a farm, trying to make a living.
Perfect.
It's And it is called Blue New England Hills. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, and also Apple Music under my name, Betsy Glassman.
వీడు చెప్తున్న పాట బ్లూ న్యూ ఇంగ్లాండ్ స్పాటిఫై ప్లేలిస్ట్ లో ఉంటుంది. సో డూ వ్యూ ఇట్ అండ్ లిసన్ టు ద సాంగ్.
Okay, here we go. In the blue New England hills, where the clear water trills, way above the lowland, that's where my love and I watch the changes in the sky. Way up in the highland, that's where the old house stands. We're working with our hands from dawn until the days close. In the blue New England hills, time don't stand still. Don't believe it ever will. In the blue New England hills, time don't stand still, but the maple leaves are waving. And throughout this great big land, why don't we make a stand to protect a heritage worth saving?
Oh, it's amazing. You love the song, and I'm sure the audience will love the song too. Perfect.
Well, thank you for
Nice.
giving me the opportunity to introduce my songs and talk about how to get over hardships with music. It's a good way.
I'm just gonna give a break to Taylor Swift songs, and I'm gonna listen to them back again. All of your songs.
Okay.
Okay, so we are almost wrapping up. So there's one last question I would like to ask you, which is very much personal too. So you must have seen a lot in your life, like we spoke. I mean, I see your journey. You had cancer and you battled through it, and then you did your single parenting, and then you are here today. I mean, pretty much everything you dealt in life is all alone, I feel. So everything, you build your own empire all alone, and now you're into music and you're doing it all alone again. So my question is, what is that one thing you always remember of when you are all alone at home, or that one thing that keeps taunting you all the time, and then it's like, okay, this happened in my life, but then I made it. What is that one incident or one thing in your life? You made it. It troubled you, but you made it.
Well, I would say that I'm a nature lover, and I think that I get a lot of inspiration from nature. So if I'm feeling a little down or unsure, I'll take a walk. I have a good friend that I walk with, or a few friends that I walk with, and that's one thing that gets me out of any doldrums that I might be in. And also just playing music and playing with friends. I am alone. But I have a very vibrant social life. So, and I do talk to my son regularly, and I have a good family. They don't live in town, but so I'd say hold your friends and family close and take a walk in nature.
Perfect. That's good. So it was great interviewing you, Betsy. I had really a great time, and it was really good energy you brought into the interview. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me and for doing this interview. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so you did listen to the interview, and అది చాలా అమేజింగ్ ఉంది, and Betsy really got a good spirit and energy, and మీకు కూడా నచ్చుతుంది అనుకుంటున్నాను. సో ఇందులో ఒకటి ఉంది, ఈవిడ చెప్పిన ప్రతి స్టోరీలో మనం ప్రతిసారి వీ కెన్ సీ తను ఎంత స్ట్రాంగ్ అన్నది మనకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ఇట్స్ నాట్ వెరీ ఈజీ టు బీ దట్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇన్ లైఫ్. సో ఆవిడ చాలా స్ట్రాంగెస్ట్ పర్సన్ అండ్ నాకు చాలా మంచి ఫ్రెండ్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ రియలీ నైస్ టు ఇంటర్వ్యూ హర్. సో ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు టాక్ అబౌట్ దిస్ పేజ్. చాలా మంది అడుగుతున్నారు లైక్ ఓకే స్టోరీస్ పోస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం వాట్ నెక్స్ట్ అని. సో వాళ్ళకి నేను చెప్పాలనుకుంటుంది ఏంటంటే వైన్ అండ్ బ్రాంచెస్ అని పేరు ఎందుకు పెట్టాను అని మొన్న నన్ను ఎవరో అడిగారు లైక్ వన్ ఆఫ్ మై ఫ్రెండ్ ఎందుకు పెట్టావు ఈ పర్టిక్యులర్ పేరు ఇంకా బోల్డ్ పేర్లు ఉండగా అని. సో ఎందుకు అంటే రైట్ నౌ నేను నా ఏజ్ లో 20s లో ఉన్నాను నేను. సో నేను ఇప్పుడు వైన్ కింద స్టార్ట్ అవుతున్నాను. ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ స్మాల్ సీడ్ లాగా స్టార్ట్ అవుతున్నాను. సో నేను నా బ్రాంచెస్ కి ఎదిగేసరికి హౌ మెనీ స్టోరీస్ ఐఎమ్ కలెక్టింగ్ అండ్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ మేకింగ్ డస్ రియల్లీ మ్యాటర్. సో ఇప్పుడు బెట్సీ ఉంది, ఆవిడ యంగ్ అప్పుడు నుంచి చూస్తే ఆవిడ చాలా చేసింది అండ్ ఇప్పుడు షీఈస్ ఇన్ టు అవర్ ఓల్డ్ ఏజ్ అండ్ అయినా సరే ఇంకా చేస్తుంది. అంటే షీఈస్ గ్రోన్ అప్, ఇప్పుడు ఒక పెద్ద బ్రాంచ్ అయింది అయినా సరే షీఈస్ డూయింగ్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ స్టఫ్ అండ్ ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లో చాలా మంది బ్రాంచెస్ తో కనెక్ట్ అయింది, చాలా స్టోరీస్ తను గ్యాదర్ చేసుకుంది. అలాగే మన లైఫ్ లో కూడా మనం వైన్ దించి స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి బ్రాంచెస్ కి వెళ్ళేసరికి ఎన్ని స్టోరీస్ కలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటాము అన్నది పోర్ట్రే చేయడానికి ఈ పేజ్. So for more real talks and real stories, do follow my page Wines and Branches and do subscribe my channel on YouTube. Don't forget. Bye bye.
Bye bye.